Hello, hello. How are we? It's connected now. Okay, so we had a bit of a cable emergency. My internet cable, something broke off. And I plugged it in and it didn't want to stay in. So it's staying in now. Okay. Right. I need a drink first now because that was a bit of a Oh my goodness. Yes, we are on. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to hide anything. I unplugged the thing the other day and I heard something, the sound of breaking plastic. And just now I looked at it and it wasn't connecting with the cable and I don't know why. And so now I realize that that little thing, oh, what did I do with it? That came undone. And that's probably something that keeps the cable in the thing. See? Yeah. This is which one is it, darling? Which one is it? Is it lemon and ginger, or is it the turmeric and ginger? Ginger and lemon. Yes, it is that your answer, Keith? It does keep it in. Yes, probably. Which is why I'm now holding it here and I'm trying to. It seems to be in now. Maybe I should just put tape around it. Oh yeah, so. Yes, it's the little latch to keep it in. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that's come off my how many meters cable? It's gonna be he's gonna tape it. Okay. If you've got no video, Kim, then refresh and come back, and I think that will sort it out because I am here now. I'm hoping that my, cable is gonna stay in. Everything is connected otherwise, so it should be okay. Right. Okay. So how are you all? Welcome to the live. Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, this is a dress. And I have to say, when I saw it, I saw this in the window of the shop, went straight in, found my size, went and tried it on. It looked really lovely. And I bought it because I just loved it. And every time I wear it, people like it. Even I get compliments from a stranger, right? So a lady, so it's the Exmouth Festival at the moment. So we have lots of music going on all over the town. So we have different locations. There's all kinds of different things happening. So Friday night we went to the silent disco, which is where Dirk filmed me. And there's some stalls. And some of them had trinkets and jewelry and all kinds. And we were having a look around. And one of the stall holders said, "Oh, I love your dress." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And then later on that night, we bumped into my optometrist. And he immediately said, "Love the dress." And I'm like, "Thank you." So, I mean, if he sees that it's a nice dress, then, it must be right. Because he sees well, doesn't he? So yeah, it's a dress. Look. And you're going to see it really well soon. Okay, very soon. I'm not going to say too much about it because you know what it's like. But yes, so one day, a couple of weeks ago, we had hot weather as well. Not a couple of weeks ago, only 2 weeks ago or something. And we had planned to go filming for a lookbook, which is coming out in 2 weeks. And yes, I wore this because the outfit that I had ready was going to be too warm. So yes, the dress has been a success, and it's from H&M. So, you know. Oh, thank you, Asha. Thank you. Oh, what's happening? What's happening? Yes, this is a thing. I didn't oh my goodness, it's going to be, yeah, the bad weather, Manon. Yeah. Okay. Close those windows, secure everything. um so yes, the dress is there was a point in the dress. The point was not that I was going to make something to go with it, although I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to. I mean, the dress is so nice. I'm gonna have to find something or make something that's gonna go with it really well. But although the thing that I'm gonna show you goes with it as well, so I'm not too worried at the moment. So we'll talk about that later on, or next week. Next week, only next week, not this week. I am going to show you in a moment what we are going to make. Meek. What we are going to make this week, I will show you. But we are talking today about things for holiday. So, crochet on holiday, how should you think about your crochet when you go away? What should you consider? And yeah, just making sure that you have a crochet project to take with you and what kind of thing it should be. Also, I'm going to tell you about my yes, do you crochet when it is hot? Dirk asks the question. I do, obviously, because I can't stop crocheting because I need videos. I've been on the beach today with a full blanket working on it. So, you know, it just has to keep on going for me. And also, I am going to tell you about my experiences with hooks on planes. So, if you have any particular questions about crochet on holiday, and I'm not addressing that particular issue or situation, then do let me know. But yes, Susan, like Carol and Susan say, and Julie as well. Thank you, Jade. Yes, I also worried for the bouquet blanket because we took the bouquet blanket with us. Yes. Yeah, crocheting. I crochet obviously throughout the year. Yes. So Claire, what to take, right? Maybe there are some sort of, for me, when I want to take my crochet with me, I try to make it compact. So maybe something like this here, the Paphos shawl, I took that with me, okay, because it's one ball. Well, no, it's not one ball, but you're working with one ball at a time. And it's variegated, so you've got your different colors. So it means you can have, for the duration of your trip, you have that one ball with you, and then when you arrive, you can have another ball in your suitcase. So that means you can keep going, but at the time when you're actually sort of on the train or on the plane, you only have to have one ball with you. And that, I think, is the secret. Don't go to, if you're crocheting on location, okay, because somebody just said, oh, I'm going away for however long and I'll be crocheting all the time when I'm there, that's different. So if you are there and you have space in your suitcase, something like, for instance, our packs, even though there's 15 balls, you still have a pack. It's a pack with a pattern and video. So if you have Wi-Fi in the hotel, you can concentrate on doing that, on, because you've got your 15 balls. Okay. But that is when you're on location, I would say. When you actually are traveling and you're on a train, you're on a plane, you're in the car, you need to keep things simple. I can't read a pattern when I'm in the car. I need to know it by heart. So knowing what you're doing, knowing the pattern, that will help you for, making sure that you can keep yourself busy without having to have too many things, your pattern and your yarn. You have a crochet backpack. Do you mean with all the stuff in for crocheting, or is it crocheted, the backpack? Yes, so that's what that's what I do when I'm in the well, that's not true. I do bring everything in the car. I will bring my 15 balls, because for me, it's not for, how should I say it? It's not for my entertainment that I am crocheting. I can't just stop the project that I'm doing, that I'm filming for, that I'm needing the video for, right? So for me, again, it is different. But then we have lots of space in the car, and I can manage it, and I can grab, and I can, so everything that I'm saying is, sort of more towards what you're going to be doing, what's easier for you. Obviously, the easiest thing is that you have just one ball, one cake, a variegated cake, for example, or one thing and a really easy pattern. Something that you know how to do, something that you can just grab. Like, for instance, a lot of you are making, I have noticed in the Facebook group, a lot of you have started making Anna squares again, because it is such a lovely pattern. You know it by heart, and you can just do it, and you add the squares to your box at home or just into your bag, and you've got, yes, you can bring a selection of colors, but you don't even need full balls, because it doesn't take a whole ball. You just need some leftovers to take with you. And I know some of you say that you have like a grab and go bag. So my mum has that as well. She has, in her car, she used to have a bag with just a crochet project, the car project, because sometimes she would have to take dad somewhere, and then she'd end up waiting in the car for hours, and then she said, I haven't got a crochet project. Why did I not? So then the next time she put one in the car, and then whenever she has to wait, she can go and get it and make something there, so a grab and go thing is very, very clever. It's very good to have, and I think you should always have one, even if it is the Anna square. Right now, my grab and go pattern is this one at the moment. See, I make, obviously, yeah, I'm always working on something, and at any time I make sure there is something I can work on. So, for example, now with this nice weather, we've been going for a little walk in the evening, and then having an ice cream, and then I take my project. And this is one cake that I made myself. I will talk about this in a moment, okay? One cake that I made myself. The hook is in there, and the project is there already as well, obviously. There, my take with me. So Derek says, shall we go for an ice cream? And I said, yeah, okay, give me 2 seconds. I grab a bag, put this in, and off I go. And I've got my project. This is not something that I'm filming at the moment. This is just something that I'm making at the moment, actually, for myself. So sometimes I do that. I make sure I have a grab and go project that I can just take whenever I need to go. But if you have more time to plan for your holiday, obviously, then you can think about it. For example, the Paffle shawl would be a lovely thing because it's a 2-row repeat. Once you know it, you've got your cake. Take one cake in your hand luggage or with you on the train or plane, and then take the other ones in your suitcase. By the time you go home, you probably have taken the second ball out of your suitcase, or even the third one, and you'll have some more space for, any souvenirs or something that you've bought. See? And you wear the shawl. When we went to New York, exactly, Carol. The happy shawl is a good one too because it's one ball. But think about that. I can use up a whole ball in an evening. Okay, so that's 2, 3, maybe 4 hours. So you have to take into account the length of your journey. I always try to think, okay, how long does it take, the journey? How much do I have to do on this shawl? How much do you think I could use up? How much yarn do you think you need to take that into account. The Paffle shawl, in fact, I finished on the plane. So I had been making that sort of in a bit of a rush because all of a sudden we were going to Paphos. I wanted the shawl to be finished so I could film it there. I didn't quite get it finished, but then I worked out how many hours were we going to go on the plane, how many hours on the in the car beforehand, how many hours would I have in the hotel room the evening before, then checking in, waiting for the plane, going on the plane. So in fact, I finished the shawl on the plane. So I worked out how much I still needed to do. I thought about how many hours I would have, and I finished it ready for filming in Paphos. So yes, so that is knowing what you what you can do, what you normally use up, and what you can do in a thing. Yes, and that is exactly that's a very good idea. A vacuum bag, sort of one of those suction vacuum bags to help reduce the amount of yarn that you take with you. And of course, yes, like I said, if you take a full pack of, if you're going to have lots of time, you can take a full pack by reducing it quite a bit. And then by the time you go home, whatever you've made, you can also put in that vacuum pack and all, suction it down a bit as well. The reading shawl, fantastic, Julia. That's a great project as well. If you're going to be using just one kind of yarn, put the other balls in your suitcase, take one ball with you, and then if you know how much approximately you use up during the time that you have to travel, you'll be able to just crochet that, and then by the time you're sort of off the plane or off the whatever, you'll have that finished, or you'll have nearly that ball finished, and then you can start working on the one in in your suitcase. So for flying, because this is something I oh, fantastic, Antoinette. Yes. So for flying, I just want to tell you what I do. I've never had a problem, apart from scissors been taken in Egypt, but that couldn't be helped, because we first had an internal flight where I was allowed scissors, and then we had an international flight and I wasn't allowed scissors, and I couldn't put them anywhere, of course, so they took them. So yeah. But what I usually do, okay, I've got my high hooks. These are my best hooks. When I have hold luggage. I put my higher hooks in the hold luggage, so in the suitcase, so it's gone. And I have a what I call a normal pet, not my higher, in my hand luggage. But of course, these days, because I have a shop and Dirk supplies me with replacement higher hooks, I do take them. And if they get taken, then it's, my own fault, really. But I try to make sure I have more than one hook in my hand luggage, and I make sure that it is not a higher. So what I'm trying to say is, try not to have your best hooks on the plane. So if you have to spend those flying hours crocheting with an inferior hook, then so be it. At least at your destination, you will have your good ones because they'll be in the hold luggage. Okay. If you don't have hold luggage, they all have to go in your hand luggage with you on the plane. And to be honest, mine have never been confiscated. They've never been taken. But I do not put them like this on top of my bag. I just put them with my crochet inside my bag. Okay, they do see things like that on the scan, so I'm assuming it's okay. If they start rummaging around and they find a stick, I don't know what they would do, but I've never had that happen to me before. In the beginning, I used to take a wooden hook in my hand luggage, and that should be okay. Now, this length of hook you are allowed, but a lot depends on the person at the time who's checking, right? Because so you can't really predict that. And then what else have I got here? I'm looking for my kitten snips, but I think I don't have them in here. I possibly have put them somewhere else, or are they still in some sort of travel bag? I suppose. I think they might be. So we do have a really tiny pair of scissors that we sell on the website. It's called Kitten Snips, and you are allowed those in the plane. Now, my normal scissors, and if I knew where they were, that would be these ones. Although Angel just said your scissors should be 3 inches or less from the fulcrum, and the fulcrum is this. So I'm assuming this is not 3 inches, but these were confiscated anyway. Okay, so that was in Egypt. So I don't know whether, So my secret is I never take scissors in my hold luggage, in my hand luggage. Okay, I always put them in the hold luggage. If I don't have hold luggage, I don't have scissors with me. Okay, but what do I take? This. You're probably not going to recognize this brand because it's completely different from the standard kind of thing that you can buy, because I don't like the standard one. But this is tooth floss, dental floss. Okay. This is dental floss that clearly does not want to be in the picture. Okay, so this is my dental floss. You open it up, and here it has this. So not only does it actually this dental floss is, oh yeah, I can get it out. I can get it out still. Look. I used to have an empty container like this. This one still has dental floss in it, so a dual function. Okay, but I cut my yarn. Let me show you. I cut my yarn with my dental floss canister. Oh, this is not going to be easy to show you. It's easier to do it, mind you. There. Voila, I have 2 pieces. Right? So it's not a clean cut. It's not the easiest cut, but it is a cut. And you can cut, you cut it a little bit longer, cut it at home, cleaner, but it's cut and they're not going to stop you from taking this. And in a way, I just think this is a good solution. You take dental floss. Well, I take dental floss with me now every time I go because this is what I'm taking with me. And it works and you have it with you. And, it's not meant as a scissors, but we can use them as scissors. So this is what I take instead of scissors. Yes, Mano, but those clover yarn cutters, I have heard that they have been confiscated. See? Yeah, I know what it looks like. It's a pendant. It's got cutter things in it. But I've heard I've heard so sometimes they're in Facebook group. Oh, I bit my tongue there, my lip then. Sometimes in Facebook groups they show, or they talk about it and they say, oh, my clover yarn cutter was confiscated. So this one you can't really have that confiscated because it is something that it's a different thing altogether. So nail clippers also work, although generally I don't want to take those either because there is a sharp bit on there as well. So I don't know how you're allowed to, if a pair of clippers work, then fine, but ours are really big. We've got them this size, so I don't want to take those. No. Okay, Angel. So that clover, whatever, where is my mouse? That Mano, the clover yarn cutter actually contains a razor blade, Angel says. So that's probably why they, yeah. So the dental floss idea, I think, is just great because you've got your dental floss with you. Keep them clean, keep your teeth clean, and it's a dual purpose as well. So I think that's a good way to do that. But yes, keeping the project simple, keeping the yarn limited for during travel, I think that's a great way to go, where you're not constantly actually I'm just thinking about how I started this one here, right? Because of course, for you guys, if you are traveling, keep it simple, right? Have a simple project that you can memorize, 2-row repeat, make it easy. No, I decided to start this shawl, right? Okay, so he let you have your scissors. Yeah, this is the thing, Carolyn. That guy, he was just like, no, no scissors, no scissors, and there was no talking to him. I said, but they're short, no. And off he already put them in the bin, and I wasn't going to reach down in there because goodness knows what was in there. But yeah, so, but then also, Dirk said, well, we have more, we have others. So for me, in a way, it wasn't too bad because obviously I still had my dental floss canister somewhere in my bag. And yeah, obviously we have a shop, so we've got multiples of certain things, but still, if I would have been devastated had they taken my pair of scissors, and I wouldn't have had to be able to replace it as easily as we can, right? So I do know how you feel about that because you don't want to be and also you get attached to these things. It's lovely, it's nice. I couldn't find them for a while, so I had to use another pair, and it's not the same, although these are nice, but this is something else that I had a long time ago, but I like these. You do get attached to things, and you do get attached to your hooks and everything that you like using so much. So you don't want it to be confiscated. And I do understand that, they don't want anything sharp. They don't want, even if you're not doing something wrong with it, somebody could snatch it and, whatever. So I understand. But on the other hand, I also need the zen. The zen the crochet gives me. So, some of them are, Carolyn, some of them are. But on the other hand, you can understand why. Um, Children's scissors. I think, Julia, because they have a blunt edge, I think, and maybe they're not longer than those 3 inches, is it? They could possibly be allowed, but why take the risk? Take your dental canister, take your dental floss, go out tomorrow, buy the cheap. I give up. I give up. It clearly does not want to be in the picture. This is just go and buy the cheapest dental floss there is and just keep it in your crochet thing and take it with you. Okay. I also have, but I haven't. Oh, where is it? I've got a tiny one as well, like a travel dental floss from Marks and Spencer's, sort of from the, when at the till they have all these little, like a lip salve for your hands, disinfectant for your hands, and in like tissues, and in between there was, this is years ago, a small canister of dental floss, the tiniest things you could imagine, but it has the metal thing, and that's all you need, isn't it? So for a long time I was using that one, but it's minty, so I don't like that taste. So, well, I do like it, but yeah, I don't. Anyway, never mind. This one I use these days, as you can probably see, because it has a lot of scuffing on it, and it's already, But yeah, this has traveled with me to quite a few places now. Right. Stay there. Ah, Jade. Is that so? Do they only cut paper and not very well? Yes. Is it hard to cut yarn with them? Okay, so that's about children's scissors. Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously. Tracy, exactly. Yes, you would be. But then don't risk your hooks, right? Do not risk taking your favorite hooks. Don't take your higher hook set with you if you don't have hold luggage. Make sure they are in the hold luggage. If you don't have hold luggage, just take any old hook. Make sure it's a metal one, because metal does, in my opinion, crochet easier than just plastic. I did used to take a wooden hook with me just in case they took my metal one. So I still had a backup in my hand luggage. But yeah, nowadays I just take my hook that I'm working on. And if they take it, they take it. But yeah, I've got replacements. I just have to write a little note to my supplier, and he brings it from the storage to my hook supplier. Oh. Oh my goodness, Julie, that must have been scary. Yes. So yeah, nail clippers. I don't know whether I've actually done that. I don't usually take them with me. I do take a file sometimes, but not always. So yeah. Okay, Patricia, you have no problem cutting the yarn with the blunt children's scissors. Okay. So yeah, it's worth a try maybe. But like I said, get the cheapest dental floss, dual situation here where you can cut your yarn and you can do your teeth while you're on holiday. So, I don't think that's a bad compromise. Oh my goodness, Pink Lady. Yes, you finished your Paphos shawl. Well done. Well done. So yes, it's a really it's so nice that we can take our hobby on holiday with us, that we can use it to pass the time in a hotel room, maybe the evening before, like I did. After you've checked in and you still have to wait to board the plane, on the plane, if you're going with the train, on the train, waiting for the train, anytime you have to wait while you're on holiday or for traveling, or in the car, it's just so lovely that we can spend some time doing our hobby. And of course, that makes the time go faster as well. And of course, if we have all our supplies with us, it makes it lots easier. But we do need to think about the type of project that you're going to do. If it is really difficult for you to, you need the pattern, you need the tutorial, you need this, you need that, it's too much. So try and make sure that you have something that you can do that you know by heart. You only need one piece of yarn or one cake or one ball, one color. Makes life so much easier. So like the Paphos shawl is easy. Even this one here, the flower blanket, because you've just got the bouquet blanket, because you've just got one color, you could do all that without the flowers. So you could just take the green. Also, I have behind me here this one as well, because what you can do is, of course, once you've made one or two hexagons, you know just about what you're doing. Then you can take your hexagon pattern, the ones that you've already made, as your reminder. And of course, because you're connecting straight away, you don't have bits and bobs everywhere. So your item does grow. And that is good as well, because it keeps it all together. So you've got your 3 cakes, put 2 in your suitcase, 1 in your hold luggage. You can crochet. You can see what you've done before. You attach it, and then by the time you get there, you've got your cake at your destination. And then by the time you leave again, you've got your cake for going back. See? It works. Yeah, I've dropped things on the floor now because of that. Right. El cheapos for traveling. Yes, Ingrid. Do you know, I saw that word and I thought, what does she mean by that? But yeah, a cheap hook. I'll work with a plastic hook if I have to on a plane. But yeah, I'm now taking my my normal hooks and I'm fine. I've never had them confiscated. I'm always super happy when I'm let through and I've got everything still intact, within my crochet kit. I do pack it nicely into my bag. I haven't got it sitting on top, if they open it up, just nicely packed away, and I've never had a problem with that. Yes, so any more than a 4-row repeat. Exactly, for traveling, it's important that you try and keep things simple. Yes. Yeah. I mean, what I was going to say earlier was this one here. I started that on the train off the pattern that I had written, or that I had tried to write, on my phone. So I didn't know what I was doing yet. I was just looking on my phone and trying to, and then we were delayed and it was super hot in the train. And I was like, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to sit here. And I had my phone on my lap. I had that. I was unraveling. I was doing it again. It was one of those things. But in the end, it did work. But I would not recommend doing that. Don't start a new project which you haven't even sort of, half designed, which you've only half designed, on a plane full of packed sardines. It was sardines. Hot as well. This was in January even. And I was like, yeah, that's not the best thing to do. So keeping it simple is the way to go. Now, fantastic, Melanie. Yes, the new top, the white top. Yeah, that's a great one to do. Yeah. Now, I did show you something earlier, which is what we are going to be doing next week. So this last week we did extreme crocheting. We made seed pads for garden furniture and a large granny square as a seed pad. And then, of course, I was trying out and I had all this yarn. Yeah, there's Layla's cocoon, Layla's donut. She's not used it again. She hasn't. I put it out the other day and she was like, walked around it as you do. So yeah, so that's the story of that. But as you know, we have made several things with strands held together. And I have not finished using that kind of yarn. I am loving making things with 5 strands. So the formula for me is 5 strands, hook number 5. And as you know, I've now put my yarn on there. I still have a lot to wind and put on. I'll do that one day. And I want to rearrange my cabinets. But I don't have any storage facilities. I don't have any storage boxes. I don't have anything, some things just go together and I want to keep them together and I want to keep it looking nice because I've got glass fronted cabinets. So I was thinking, do I go and buy storage boxes? What do I want in there? And then I thought, make your own. I have the yarn, I have the hook, I have the inspiration, so I am making my own storage basket. So this one is a square one. Layla, did you hear your name? Yes? Okay. Where are you going? On my lap? Oh my goodness. Let me get the blanket first. Come on. Come on then. There we go. So I have been making square storage baskets with 5 strands of yarn, hook 5, and oh my goodness, it's so lovely. She's on my lap now, but I'm gonna there's one in the cabinet which I'll get out in a moment when she's left. But it is such a nice thing. So I have made a cake with 5 strands, right? And this, of course, is also using up some of my yarn. So again, I am doing this with just leftover yarns, with balls that you haven't got enough of to, to use up, to put in a project. Can you see her face? No. There we go. Leftover things. Why not just put them together like I did before with the round baskets? But this time, of course, Layla, we are making a square one because I want it to sit nicely into my cabinet and fill the shelves. And at the moment, I have made quite a few already, so I'm making more because at the base there, I need to, it's just too cluttered. If I can put things in a basket, I think it will look nice. Well, it will look nice, less cluttered, and then I can put something nice in between, but everything will be organized, and that's what I want to achieve. So on Wednesday, I'm going to show you how to make a square made out of single crochets. Who has made a square out of single crochets? I hadn't. When I thought of that, I was like, hang on a minute. Why have I never made a square of single crochets? Yes, Chris, we've never used catnip for Layla. I've never sort of bought any and used it for her. I don't know what, Tracy, what do you mean I've never made a square? Surely you've made a granny square, or not? Simply me, well, is it hard to cake up multiple strands? It is and it isn't. If you have your balls all coming out of the middle and there's no issues, no tangles, you can cake this up in seconds, honestly. If there is one that gives you some knots, then you have to stop and unravel it. But then it's quite easy. I don't mind. It's not like it's hard to do. It's fine. Obviously, you get knots anywhere, Let me show you the other baskets that I've already made as well. So this one has my pegs in it. And look, this is a square basket. I love this idea. I really do. You make one big cake and that makes this. A cake, and so all the purples together. And of course, I had some of that mottled from Starcraft as well. Those dual colors. And this one as well. So this one has some Aurora in it, some variegated yarn. But I think it just, the way the colors change, just lovely. And once again, made from leftover yarns, made from balls that I just had lying around. You can change the thickness of the yarn that you have in there. You can use Aran, Chunky, and DK together if you have to. If you have the Donna, the basket is made of 5 strands of DK held together. So if you have an Aran, you can do 4 strands of DK and then Aran, that's fine. Or you can do 3 strands of DK and then a Chunky, something like that. But make it nice and thick. Use a hook that's too small for that yarn and you will end up with something that will hold its shape. And because we are making a square one here, it's really easy. I mean, it will distort, but it's really easy to make it hold its shape. And it looks so nice in my cabinet. So they're sitting like this in my cabinet, side by side. They've got their contents and I know what is in which one, and it's perfect. It's if I had to go and buy this as a basket, why should I have gone and bought it? Because honestly, I have all the yarn. It's only going to take me a little bit of time to cake it up, or even you don't have to cake it up. You can just hold the 5 strands together and unroll them each time. Do your stitches, unroll, do your stitches. It works as well, because I didn't used to cake it up. I did cake it up because this is now an on-the-go project. So I can take this with me when we go and have our ice cream in the evening when it's sunny. But yes, and this one here, I made a little loop so I can easily pull it off the shelf if I put it like that, or just hold it, or whatever I need to do with it. But once again, I've got my pegs in there, square base, and yeah, it's like the tote bag that we made a couple of months ago. It would make nice flower pot covers. Yes. Yeah. So these here, these were the baskets that we made with coasters in them. So I've put the coasters separately because I'm also going to use these as my storage baskets. And this would go nicely around a pot of flowers, you know, like for, you know, put your pot in there and then even the handles would look nice when there's flowers or leaves or a plant in there. So yeah, I mean, yes, I just finished the coasters and the holders. Yeah, and hoping you were doing. Yes, Lisabeth. So many ideas that we can do with our yarns held together. Look at the way these colors change. I think it's just brilliant. And the best thing about that is we're just using stash yarn. You can make this as presents. You could make this as presents. I mean, I've got my pegs in there, but this could be used in the bedroom. Put your belts in there, put jewelry in there, put tissues in there, put I don't know, tights in your drawer, put something that's always floating about, put it in there, keep it together. You know, there's so many things that I can't say what you could use them for, because there's so many possible uses. You know, keep toys together, keep stuff together from everybody in the household. Gift baskets as well, cotton balls in the bathroom. Yes. So many things. And we're making that with leftover yarns, or yarns that very often are not going to be used because you've just got. Do you remember the ones that I used for that tote bag? There was this 3/4 of a marble chunky in there, and obviously it had been lying on my shelf for months, for months and months, since I had made that marble cardigan. I wasn't going to use it. Not enough for anything, not enough for a hat, not enough for, you know. I put it in with that bag, and now it's gone off my shelf and it's performing really well in that bag. It made for a lovely variegation of the yarn, you know. There was something else. Oh no, I've got it in my bedroom with the book in it. Yes. So I also made a book cover. Do you remember? And I used that yarn in there as well. So this, yes, the possibilities are just so endless. This is one where there is a variegated yarn in, and that's a secret, you see. If you try and add one variegated in with other colors, you will see the variegation happening. Here I put together different colors, and so the basket is the same all around. Okay, here I did try to use the variegation, but because of course we've got a base, the variegation is here. See, this is where it's brown, and then here the blue comes through, and then we're back to the brown again. Okay, so my variegation got lost a little bit, but I don't mind. And this one here, as well as this one, let me show you the ball that I mean. This is one without a label. Here we go. You know, Stylecraft has, in the range of DK, they have these colors as well, and they have different. This is charcoal. I think this is, what is this called? Carnation or yeah, carnation, I think. And it's sort of that mottled white and color. or this is white and sort of black charcoal type color. And again, we use this in the peacock blanket, but of course now the leftovers of that are just sitting there because I don't know what to do with them. So I have added them to this, and that makes for a lovely variegation in your fabric. And the same thing here, I used the purple. No, it's not in here, sorry. I've used it in something else, but I'm not going to show you. But here I just used all the purples that I could find, yes, grab and go. Yeah, exactly, that this is my grab and go. Exactly. And it's just such a lovely way to use up yarn, to use up leftover yarns, because once one color has run out, you can just tie on the next one and keep going with your, so if one strand of the 5 has run out, just add another one in and off you go. And that, of course, will make for a color change, which is fine because this is a storage basket and it's going to look the way it's going to look. And exactly. Sharon, yes, that's a really good idea. So you've made a cake from all the tiny balls that you had. So now you have one variegated cake. And if you then add other colors to that, if it's not too hard on your wrists, then, making 5 strands with a hook 5. So the secret, like somebody just said as well, is yes, it is the smaller hook. So make sure that the hook that you are using with your 5 strands will only just barely hold your 5 strands. Can you see that? That is a secret. If your hook was bigger and there was space left, then your stitch is not going to be tight enough. Our carnation, it's called, yeah, not going to be tight enough. Okay, and we want it to be tight so it would stand up. If this was looser, it would just flop down. I mean, yes, you can fold them down for storage of the storage bag, but yeah, you can make it in such a way that it will stand up and it can be a great function. So yes, my on the go one is this one. I'm going to keep on working on it because I am loving the combination. This is the thing, you can make so many combinations as well. Try them out, see what it's going to look like. This purple, I really love that. I really like that. You can make combinations to your interior, to the colors of your interior, to the colors that the recipient is going to like, to the colors that you like, to the endless possibilities. Julie, yes, put the TV remotes in there and then at least you know where they are. Because someone is always looking for a TV remote, right? So that is what is coming up. Let me check because that's what I thought was coming up, and I'm sure it is. We're already in July. Can you imagine the second part of our... Yeah. So we are doing on Wednesday. I have a video showing you how to make the single crochet square. I have found a way of doing it really easily. I am just showing you with one strand of yarn, just a basic tutorial, okay, just to show you how to make a single crochet square. And then on Friday, I will then use that square to make this. So you've got time until Friday to decide which 5 strands you're going to put together, what kind of color combination you're going to do, and if you have a yarn winder, make your cake. It is a lot of fun making the cake. It does work, but you just need to make sure that you have 5 balls and they're all coming from the inside, so they're not rolling around and making it hard on yourself. So if you can have them on your desk and they all come out at the same time, that's perfect. I roll, my yarn winder will roll cakes of 100 grams, but I keep going and going and going until it is all over the edge and really big. So, try and make it as big as you can. I'm just going to, I have got weights in the video. I have got weights for you in the video, but let me just weigh this so I can tell you how much there is on this. So yeah, this is 180 grams. So this cake was 180 grams before I obviously started working with it. So the more you can wind onto your cake, the better, because some of these, this one weighs, let me see, 150 grams. Oh, so I'll be able to make that one bigger. Okay, so you need about 150 grams of yarn in your cake of 5 strands, and then you'll be able to make a basket this size. So about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rounds of single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 rounds of sides. Let me put my, okay. There we go. That is what we are doing this week. I hope you will enjoy that, and I hope you will yes, so I think okay, so I've made 2 different projects like this, okay, and in one of them I show you how to make the cake, but I can't remember whether I do it in this one or in the next one a few weeks later. So yes, Ingrid, exactly. Go over the edge, make a really big cake, 150 grams, and then you'll be able to make, one of these. And I just think it's a lovely idea. It's a way of using up our yarn and making something that otherwise we would have gone and spent money on. And we've got the money sitting in our yarn shelves, right? So we might as well use the yarn. Ah, yes, Elizabeth. Okay, so that's what Sharon did. Yeah. So there is you can just knot them on and then keep winding. When it ends, just knot them on and keep winding. That's what I do. And then you've got a variegated ball of yarn. Okay. But then you need to, for these projects, you need 5 strands together. Okay. Right, everyone. Oh my goodness. It is so warm inside. I want to open my windows again because yes, finally the heat has gone into the house, and yeah, we've had a nice time tonight, and I hope my size 5, Nancy, 5, so I hope you will. Yes, Claudia, yes, exactly. Oh my goodness, why didn't I think of that? Yes, make them the height of your drawer. Make them the height of your drawer, and then you can put small, that junk drawer. Yeah. You can organize it now. You can organize it. So many possibilities. Okay. Let me know once the videos are out and you're starting to make your baskets. Let me know in the Facebook group what you are making them for. Also, let me know underneath the video on Friday what you're going to make it for, because, like I said, it's such a lovely thing to do, such a lovely project to make, but there's so many possibilities. I can't even tell you because there's just too many. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Bye bye. Delicious purple. Yes, Laurie. Yes. Bye, everyone. Bye.